Victor, after Summer League, you said, all right, enough of this for a minute. I'm going to just disappear for a little bit, get away from the cameras. And then you come back in the preseason, and you have just been dominating. How you imagined your first couple of days, games as an NBA player, because I know you visualize a lot. How did they go versus how you imagined them?
You know, it had been a minute, that's right, for me, away from pretty much everything except my friends, family, and basketball. But yeah, it's been very, very good couple months for me. I've grown in a lot of aspects, and of course, I prepare myself, and I think we're ready as a team, and also individually, I think I'm ready. And it was interesting first games for me in the preseason. And I know I haven't seen the best level of the NBA so far, and the best teams and the best players, you know. But it's very, very exciting, and I know we're ready.
We were talking a little bit before the camera started rolling, and I asked you, do you still love it with all the fanfare coming? And your answer to that is?
More than ever, yes, for sure. It's obviously it's a dream, you know, not just to me, but to a whole lot of people all around the world to be a part of that organization, and I just feel very, very lucky, and it just fuels me even more to work harder than anyone else in the world and get better.
Can we talk a little bit about some of the plays that you've had so far in preseason? There's a couple that I would love to get your thoughts on. The nutmeg on Reggie Bullock, the crazy give and go alley-oop where you're outside of the restricted area. Do you have a favorite moment in preseason so far?
So far? Favorite moment? I don't know. For sure, my first points, my first baskets in OKC, of course, are pretty important to me. But no, I think it's just a lot of experimenting and just a lot of learning about each other on the court. But it is very interesting, yeah.
Interesting. That's one way to put it. I would say so far those experiments are working is another way to put it. Did you happen to see Thomas Bryant's face after you dunked on him?
Yeah, that was funny. I wouldn't react like that personally, but yeah, it was funny.
That's what you react like when you haven't seen something like that ever before. Do you watch back your highlights? Does someone show those to you? How do you see those sorts of things?
I don't go looking for my highlights, but yeah, I get to see them. And I watch film, so I pretty much see whole games every time. So yeah, I see them.
Have any opponents tried any trash talk with you yet? Physical domination, bully ball?
I mean, every opponent since 2 years or 3 years maybe have tried to bully me every game, so I'm used to that. But trash talk, no. I know it's coming, though. I know there's some real dogs in the NBA. I know it's coming.
From who?
I don't know. You can pretty much name one, and one team out of two, there's always that one guy. You know?
Well, I think where we are right now in Golden State, you might face
for sure.
You might face a little bit of that. We talked about you practiced visualization, and that's something that you've done for many, many years. So I'm wondering if you and I, we could just go back for a minute to the morning of the draft lottery. And you're in France, and we've talked about how much you kind of wanted it to be the Spurs, but was there any point in the day where you thought, maybe this could all go this way?
Like, you mean like maybe it's go wrong, or?
No, maybe this could all end up, like I'm going to end up in San Antonio.
You talk, like in the morning of the draft?
Yeah, the draft lottery.
Draft lottery?
Yeah, before the ping pong ball is even bounced.
Yeah, I think it was really, I was kind of nervous that day. Maybe I'm not nervous, or I'm not anxious at all, but it was probably the day I was the most nervous of my life. Yeah, because it was for me. It was, from one moment to the other, you're gonna be told, yeah, you're gonna live there next year, and it's impressive. But I had some feelings. Of course, I still had some doubt inside of me, but I I had the feeling that it would be San Antonio, yeah. And I think it's obvious to anyone that it's the best place for me.
Did you tell anybody that?
Before?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to spoil it. But I recorded a video of me talking about it, yeah. You haven't seen it?
Uh-uh.
Oh, really? That's because it came out in a documentary, but it only came out in France and Europe so far.
That you couldn't sleep, really, the night before your first preseason game. How do you imagine you're going to feel the night before a game that actually matters?
Well, I'm waiting to see. Maybe since I will have played more like NBA games, maybe I would be more relaxed or less excited maybe. But that's true. Before the first preseason game, I could still sleep, but I woke up. I woke up during the night and I was just excited, you know.
Yeah.
Not even anxious, but just very, very excited. I had that fire inside of me, and that's there every game, of course. But for the first game, it was even bigger, and you know, it's a lot of excitement, but also a lot of responsibility. You know, in the first regular season game, because we got expectations for us as a team, my teammates, for my coach. You know, so it's my job, but it's really, really exciting, and I love it.
I felt that way, like before my first show on NBA Today, or before anything that like really matters to you. I think that's the sign that you actually care, is when you're sort of like, how long till I have? When do I get to prepare? All of that sort of thing.
And I wouldn't want it to be any different way. Like, if what I do doesn't bring me that fire inside, it's not worth it. Not worth it.
And the NBA brings you that fire.
Oh yeah.
I spent some time. We talked about this. I spent some time in France over the summer, and oh my God, it was amazing. First of all,
Was it?
Second of all, everything in France is a little bit small. The doorways are small, the cars are small, the elevators are small, and then everything is bigger in Texas. All of those things. That's their sort of tagline. What's been the biggest difference in that for you?
You know what? I think most people would say Texas is big or the U.S. is big rather than France is small. But, you know, of course my life has been very different ever since I got here, but also I come here with a new status as an NBA player, so I'm not really living through the same experiences as I was, you know. I don't think I've went out just to walk even once in Texas, but I could do it in France. So obviously there's a lot that has changed, but the conditions I'm put in is what changed the most.
I remember I talked to Giannis about that a couple of years ago. He was like, when I came to France years and years and years ago, I got to just walk around with my family, hang out, and now I can't go outside. I can't go to the grocery store, and I miss it. What do you miss?
I don't miss it yet, going to the grocery store, but I guess it's going to come.
Still go to the grocery store?
No, I haven't been in the States. Have I been? I think I've been a couple times. Yeah, but it's crazy to say that.
Yeah.
But I used to go in France, yeah. And what am I going to miss? You know, I think what I miss the most is, I'm sure it's just being close from my family, you know. Yeah. Not just my siblings and my parents, because they are going to be able to visit me pretty often, hopefully. But like my cousins, my grandparents, for whom it's harder to travel. So yeah, this is the hardest part, I would say, but it's all worth it.
Breakfast is, you're a breakfast guy, right? That's your favorite meal?
Is it my favorite meal? No, I'd say lunch is my favorite. What's
a lunch item that you can't get in France that you have discovered in San Antonio?
Lunch item?
Or your favorite food item?
Everything is very different.
Yeah.
I know it's in Texas. I spent some time in Dallas too. Tacos, of course. I like tacos, but we don't get them like that in France at all.
Let's talk a little bit about this. Let's talk some basketball specifically. The Spurs are going to start a gigantic lineup, right? It's essentially no pure point guard, one guard in Vassell, 4 forward centers in yourself, Sohan, Keldon Johnson, and Zach Collins. What do you think of that lineup? It's unlike any that we've ever seen in the NBA before.
Really? Well, it's an impressive lineup, you know, when you see such tall guys. And I think defensively it's gonna be scary, you know, at some point when we reach our good performances in the season, you know. It's going to be very, very interesting being able to pretty much switch from 1 to 5. And because Jeremy will be the point guard, but he can guard the center with no problem. And yeah, it's going to be funny. But I'm
funny.
still, yeah, it is going to be funny, but I'm still learning a lot, and I'm still eager to see how it's going to turn out.
Funny because it's so huge?
Yeah, pretty much. And funny because, you know, when you do things in an unconventional way, people have weird reactions, you know, and sometimes they don't know how to act, and they make mistakes. Our opponents, you know, it might be funny.
And then you get nicknames too. Have you thought of any for what yours could be?
I haven't. For my own or the team?
I mean, either, but I was thinking for the lineup. What about Super Size Me?
Super size.
The big gulp.
Yeah.
We'll work on it. We're gonna workshop them a little bit.
For sure.
Greg Popovich has said the Spurs in some ways don't even know how they're going to use you, but you love the ball in your hands. Is there an ideal way that you think that you should be used, a position you should play?
You know, so far I've played multiple positions, and it's really what I like, and I think it's really what is eventually going to be the biggest problem for our opponents, you know, because we got multiple guys, you know, who can do a lot of stuff on the court. Zach can spread the court and shoot the three. Jeremy can play, I don't know how many positions, and yeah, it's switching between all this. I think is going to be the key, because I wouldn't be my most efficient for my team if I'm stuck in one position. That's for sure. And people in the past have tried to do it with me, you know, in Europe, but every time it's worked the best for my teams is when, you know, we've been having that relationship with my coach and my teammates where I could be in multiple positions.
How important is winning Rookie of the Year to you?
To me, let's say it's not my main goal. I know it's gonna come, but it's not what I should worry about, I think, because it's naturally gonna come if I put 100% on the court and sacrifice on my teammates.
It's important, but it's the byproduct of doing things the right way.
Yeah.
That's okay. You said everyone loved this, on the night of the draft lottery, you said, I want to win a championship ASAP.
Yeah.
Now that you've seen some of the competition up close, how do you reflect on those comments?
I mean, everyone wants it for sure, but some more than others. And I know the Spurs, they know how to do it. They've done it in the past multiple times, and they're going to do it again. And it's just a matter. I mean, I just want it, of course, as quick as possible. But it's going to come. Someday it's going to come, I'm sure, but I don't know when.
Are you a patient person?
Depends for what.
ASAP to me, when I say I want my coffee ASAP, I need this ASAP, that means it better be here in the next, I'm not a patient person. I'm working on being a patient person.
Sometimes it's better not to be, you know, because, not for basketball, but sometimes it's better not to be.
Yeah. Just a couple more for you, Victor. You went to dinner with Manu and Tony Parker and Tim Duncan. What did you learn from them in that space?
You know, it's having people like that very, very successful people to who you can talk very easily. It's a real chance. Yeah. And you know, it was just a casual conversation. We weren't even trying to. They weren't even trying to put me onto some secret knowledge, or because it's all natural things, but I think the most important is to entertain those relationships, and over the years because when I had dinner with them the first time, I wasn't an NBA player yet, you know. I couldn't really identify my way to some stuff. They would say they could prepare me for some stuff, but I might not ask the right questions, you know, because I haven't been through it. But now that I'm starting to see what it's like, and over the months and the years, I'm gonna have some doubts sometimes, some questions, some blurry stuff, and then I'm gonna be able to go to them.
Victor, what do you think makes Greg Popovich such a successful coach of international players?
You know, I think it's actually his ability to go to go pick international players. You know, he and the Spurs have dared in the past to go pick some players who wouldn't have been picked by other franchises before, because it's always, as foreigners, there's always doubts, you know, from pretty much everyone about what we can really do. But what makes him so great, I think it's what I've seen so far. It's he really lets the players. He really tries to know his players, and then he lets them do what's really inside of them. You know, their real personality. And he of course he always tries to correct us and to teach us, but also while making all he can make out of what we actually are. You know, he doesn't try to change us.
Yeah. Let's end here. You've said before you don't feel pressure. Even talking to you today, you said anxiety, that's not really something that I get. But on opening night, when you're staring eye to eye Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, what are you going to be feeling if it's not pressure?
What am I going to be feeling? You know, obviously I get great memories of watching these players, you know, Luka and Kyrie. I actually saw Luka play once live in Spain, and Kyrie, of course, so many memories of just watching the NBA as a kid. It's no, it's not going to be pressure. I think it's going to be excitement, but lately I've changed my mindset, and when I step on the court, I know guys are going to try and kill me.
What do you mean by that?
Like, here it's really like the people play like it's life or death, really. And it's really something that I felt like it's like a pride that I've been feeling from like American players, even American players who play in Europe, but it's also a difference I see here in the States and in the NBA.
Do you feel like you have that now?
You know what? I used to feel that like I had it, but to put it on the side and not really use it, because it was saying that is in some way acknowledging and accepting that you are being threatened. And it's kind of a weakness, being threatened, you know. So I was like, nah, it's nothing.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. James Harden, where I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA on ESPN.